during the entire, which needs to be followed during the entire course of the meeting. Number one, please refrain from making any references to politics, sex, or religion in your speech, which may hurt others' sentiments. Number two, please turn off all the noise-making devices like mobile phones or put them in silent mode. Number three, avoid crosstalks when someone is speaking. Number four, considering this virtual setup, please ensure that you're on mute yourself if you're not speaking. I request all the guests to put their names in the meeting chat so that we can track that as well. Once again, I welcome you all for the Toastmasters Technopark chapter meeting. Handing over to Toastmaster Smitha.
Thank you, Sergeant at Arms TM Manisha, for the introduction. It is my pleasure to be the Toastmaster of the day for our meeting number 18. I take this opportunity to welcome all of you, the members and the guests, if any, to today's meeting. I will quickly explain the structure of the meeting. Today, the meeting is divided into three parts. First, we have a training and QA session. The second part is the table topics round, the impromptu session where members can practice thinking and speaking on their feet. Guests are also welcome to participate in this round. The third and final part will be the evaluation round, in which all the speeches and all the aspects of this session will be evaluated by the general evaluator and the team. Now, let me introduce the theme of the day, which is Road to Damascus. Many of us would have had a Damascus moment at some stages of our lives. And it is amazing how your perception of the whole world changes right after that. I think each one of us will have such a moment in our lives to quote. Let me narrate a Damascus moment, which was nothing but an act of bravado during my college days. I did my engineering in Tamil Nadu in a college far from home. First time in a hostel and in a different state altogether. Thanks to how much I prepared for my Kerala entrance, I didn't get through. As everyone knows, ragging at those times was considered a ritual in most of the educational institutions for higher studies. And in particular, the girls' hostel was a haven for seniors to rag us. Their main theme was servitude. They made us bring water, food, all the different kind of treats to their rooms. We had to take it for them and serve it in their rooms. We also were supposed to satisfy their gastronomic pangs with sweets, Pepsis, chocolates, whatnot. And the key thing being bringing home cooked food when we go back to hostel after holidays. And then you get into their good books, of course. And mostly this ragging happened during the weekends. So few of us escaped because we were from Trivandrum and it is only 3 hours from there, and Friday evening 3:30 we are out of the hostel and return only Monday morning just in time for the class. So they did not get to rag us. But for boys, it was the story was actually slightly different. The first year students were put up in a different hostel just to save them from ragging. So ideally, their ragging starts when they start year 2. So first year they would enjoy because it is just them in the boys' hostel, and year 2 is very bad for them, the initial few months. But by then, we, the girls, would have made friends with our senior chechis. That's what we call them. And most of my ragging episodes ended by year 1. And I was glad that I survived through all these and started my year 2. First year went totally fine, happy, everything good. But after a week, one of the afternoons when I was walking towards my class, one of the boys, my classmate, a studious guy, you wouldn't expect him to do anything naughty, mischievous, nothing, no problems created, a very pavam guy. Although surprised, he approached and gave me a letter, handed over a letter, and he was nice and asked me very nicely, asking me to provide a reply for that the next day. The girl in me thought it would be something like a love letter, and I already had decided what I would tell him the next day. I walked forward, and then I saw 2 seniors, again, 2 chetans, laughing at me. Not in a nice way, it was kind of like a smirk. And I ignored them and I walked off. I kept this letter with me until the evening. And as soon as I reached the hostel, I wanted to open it along with my batchmates. And I came to know that 2 other girls from my batch also received the letters from 2 other boys. We opened the letters together, and I was stunned and, I would say, insulted to the core to read filth, filth, and more filth in the letters. And we also noticed that the worst one was mine. And surprisingly, my batchmates laughed it off and did not want to pursue any action, as they were terrified of more ragging coming their way. And they all were in the hostel during the weekends, and they thought it would be dangerous to do anything. They decided to write a benign response, and so they can just get it over with. I was furious, on the other hand, and the rage kind of surprised me. I wasn't going to take this lightly, and many thoughts crossed my mind as to how I would respond to this letter. I was quiet the rest of the day while my mind was, planning with so much rage inside me to try and devise a plan of action. And then it happened. Hitherto happy-go-lucky girl, I had a devil-may-care attitude. I thought, okay, I will take this up at the highest level. I will not let this go. I went straight to the principal next morning without discussing this with anybody, my roommates or my close friends, anybody. I just went there, handed over the letter to him. He read it. Of course, he was a Tamilian, but he understood most of it because few words were Malayalam words written in English. He asked whether I had any suspicions, whether I suspected anybody. I tried to connect the dots there and told him the name of the boy who gave me the letter and the 2 seniors. I still, can think of those smirks. I'll never forget it in my whole life. So I gave their names also. I later found out that they were the ones who intimidated the boy into giving this letter and made it easier for the principal and other professors. They did not have to have a formal investigation and find out who gave the letter. And then the unexpected turn of events that followed was more than what I had bargained for. An act of bravado turned everyone against me. Even some of my friends were so upset that I complained. More than that, they were upset that this boy, who's a nice guy, who did not cause any trouble, he was also in trouble. But, he could always have gotten out telling that he was not responsible and gave the seniors' names. He was not brave there too. And even some of my friends who I thought were close stopped talking to me. And they expected me to take the insult lying down and take it easy. But I stood by my decision. I did have support of my few very close friends and some seniors also. And it was quite reassuring. The college authorities then ordered a formal inquiry, and I was called for the inquiry and I gave all the details. Finally, the judgment day arrived, and those mischief mongers were awarded a 6-month suspension, which meant they lost a complete semester and they cannot appear for the exam. So 6 theory papers plus 2 practical papers. So 8 backlog papers for them the next year. I was, the cynosure for all eyes, some friendly, some with a lot of contempt. I was the target for all the seniors. They even threatened to hurt me on my way to Trivandrum on Fridays in the bus stop where we all would meet. And they begged. Some people even came home on the weekends and asked me to take back my complaint. I stayed strong, did not relent. Despite all the threats that I got, even my mother was scared because she did receive a few phone calls from different people asking me to take back my complaint. I did not. And it took literally 2 years before all these things kind of gotten settled and things returned to normal. But what I could see was no one ever received something like this in the next 2 years I was there. And there was no complaint of any serious ragging. And in the hostel, they made sure that I wasn't around when they did anything to the junior girls. And I got a warning from my principal saying that anytime they hear my name against a ragging incident, they will not even question me, but they will expel me from the college because I complained and I was not supposed to do this again. So I made sure I did not even talk to my juniors because I didn't want to have any issues or somebody causing an issue for me. This whole experience was totally worth it, and I was proud of myself. And it was my road to Damascus, where I realized that standing up for my own dignity takes a toll, but it did leave me braver. And I would say I was more confident to face the world after that. And even now, when we friends get together from college, few people purposely come and ask me whether I repent the whole incident where I went and complained against this and whether I would do the same today. And my answer was the same always and will always stay the same, saying that I stand by my decision and I would do the same thing any day. With this thought, I would like to move on with our meeting. And I now invite the general evaluator to explain the evaluation process and introduce the tag team who will be supporting her. The general evaluator for the day is TM Sreeja, a very familiar face, a public speaking enthusiast, and she's also the second runner-up for the international speech contest in District 121. Over to you now, TM Sreeja.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. What a way to start a meeting. What an inspirational message over there. We must stand by our decisions. And listening to you, I feel happy and I feel so proud of you. There was a beautiful message that you shared with us. A very good afternoon to everyone else over there. Today I am the general evaluator and my role has already started. I have started writing down all the pointers. So that's what my job is to note down anything and everything that happens in today's meeting. But as you would know, this is not a simple thing to do, isn't it? How can I do this? This is such a big meeting which has got so many components. And to help me with that task, we have the tag team with us. So today I'm going to introduce you to the tag team, but in the reverse order, so that the hour counter and the timer gets a chance to use the word of the day. All right, so the first person, the important role over there is that of a grammarian. Our grammarian today is Anila, currently working as an instructional designer at Finestra. She loves arts, crafts, sketching, traveling, modeling, you name it, and you'll have her there. So grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Anila for you. Over to you, Toastmaster Anila.
Thank you, Madam Distinguished Toastmaster Sreeja, and hi, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, if any. As the grammarian of the day, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening to them carefully to their language usages, and I will take a note of any improper usage of the language, if there is any, as well as any outstanding words or quotes or sayings or thoughts. As the grammarian, it's also my duty to introduce the word of the day. So for today's meeting, the word is bravado, which means a bold manner or a show of boldness intended to impress or intimidate. Let's look at some of the usages of this word. One example would be, he behaved aggressively out of bravado. Next would be, don't threaten me, she whispered with a false bravado. Another one would be, their behavior was just sheer bravado. So I will post this word in the chat soon, so you can start using it. And I encourage each of the speaker to use the word of the day and all the listeners to encourage our speakers by giving a mute clap or a thumbs up, or you even can use the emojis, whichever is convenient for you, as a sign of encouragement and appreciation to them. And at the end of this meeting, I'll be giving a grammarian report when I'm called upon during the evaluation session. And there I'll be reporting the usage of the word of the day as well. Thank you and all the best to the speakers, and back to you, distinguished Toastmasters.
Thank you, Madam Grammarian of the Day, Toastmaster Anila. Let's move on to our counter of the day. Not an easy task because we got to listen so carefully to those exact words. We have Toastmaster Manu Solomon today, a manager at Infoblox. Last time also I pronounced it incorrectly. Infoblox Trivandrum. He is from Kollam but is settled in Trivandrum. Has got a beautiful 3-year-old daughter. And last time we heard his inspiring icebreaker speech as well. Toastmaster Manu Solomon, kindly explain your role to the audience. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sreeja. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. So today I'll be doing the R counter role. The purpose of the R counter role is to note words and sounds that are used as pause, fillers, or crutch by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I'll be looking out for overused words, things like well, but, so, you know. I will also look at filler sounds like or I will also look at repeated words like I mean, or I. And at the end of the meeting, I'll come back and let you know each of the speaker how many times they use these words. Back to you, Toastmaster Sreeja.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manu. Now let's move on to the person who is going to make sure that we don't miss the train. That's the timer for the day, Toastmaster Prakash, who is working as a technology consultant at Tata Elxsi. He loves to travel, read, and he loves good designs. All right, Toastmaster Prakash, over to you. Kindly explain your roles to the audience.
Thank you, DTM Sreeja. Good afternoon, Toastmaster. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. I, as a timer, is going to time all the speeches, which includes training session as well as table topics. For table topics, you will be given 1 to 2 minutes to deliver a speech. At the end of 1 minute, I'll show a green cover to show 1 minute has reached. At the end of 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll show yellow cover. And at the end of 2 minutes, I'll show red cover. You'll be given 30 seconds of grace time to wind up your speech. For training session, you'll be given, the allotted time is 15 minutes. And at the end of 13 minutes, I'll show green card. And at the end of 14 minutes, I'll show yellow card, and 15 minutes I'll show red card. I am skipping prepared speeches and evaluation as we do not have anything today. With that said, I am giving control back to DTM Sreeja. Over to you.
Thank you very much. For whoever is going to speak today, I advise you that you pin the timer or view everything in the gallery mode so that you don't miss the timer cards. Right, with that note, we will come back to give you the report when my Toastmaster of the day allows me again to do so. And now I hand over the control to the Toastmaster of the day, who I salute for her bravado. Over to TMOD Smitha.
Thank you, TM Sreeja. Now we will have the learning and QA session by our Charter President, TM Arathi, an avid Toastmaster since 2013. She currently works as a General Manager in Suntech, leading the industry product team. Also selected as Inspirational Women Leader and Personality this year by EWIT Kerala Chapter and NASCOM. Her areas of interest will be public speaking, yoga, and arts and crafts. Over to you, TM Arathi.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Smitha. And like Sreeja said, thank you for inspiring us with your wonderful story and showcasing your bravado. I truly got my heart running listening to that. So fellow Toastmasters, good afternoon to you again. Today, I thought we will cover the basics of pathways. So most of us, some of us here are yet to get their login in TMI. I truly understand that, but it will be useful for you as well because your logins should be enabled either by the end of this month or the first week of August, a couple of weeks in August. So it would be beneficial for you as well. So let's take a look at how we manage our projects and our progress with pathways using the TMI website. So for people who already have their login, is there anyone who has not registered their path? Can you unmute and speak up?
I don't think
Selected actually.
Arathi, I did not into here.
Okay, all right. So yeah, Ravind, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So so I'll split it into two on how, when you get your login, how do you navigate in the TI website? And two is if you already have a login and if you have already chosen your path, how do you manage your profile in there? So for that, I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have now logged in to www.toastmasters.org, where I log in with my membership ID. The membership ID will be emailed to you and you can set your password there and you can log in. In case you forget it, you can reclaim it either using your membership ID or your email. All right. So once you log in into the Toastmasters website, oh my God. parking meters. Please help me. Okay, so that was a check to see if I was a robot or not. All right, so once you log in, it would show you the privacy statement, which you can choose. If you wanted to turn off notifications from their emailers, you can use this. So I'm going to dismiss it for now. And when I log in, it shows my login page. It shows this is my profile, and I can navigate from here into any of these segments. So here is where I can see the pathways. There is a leadership central. If you are a club officer or a district officer, you would have different access here. And there is resources here where you can see different resources that the Toastmaster site has provided. There is also an online magazine of Toastmasters, which is very interesting read. I would suggest that you navigate through this website and go through these and take a look at the free resources that they are providing. So once you log in, you can either click on your profile name here and it will take you to your landing page. All right. So when I come here, I have already chosen my path. If not, there would have been a box here that says you can choose a path. All right. So choosing a path, I will keep it for a different day. We can do it for people who have not done it separately. I am now going to talk about people who have already chosen a path. Now, if you want to look at my profile, I have enrolled in 3 paths. So it is all listed here. And I can navigate into any of these paths. Okay. So let me go back to the profile page. And if you remember, let me just move this navigation. Are you able to see my screen, or do you see a Word document now?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So if you remember, there are 11 paths that TMI provides based on your area of interest, whether you want public speaking, strategic leadership, etc. All these are there, and you can choose any of these paths. And irrespective of the path chosen, it will have 5 different levels. On each of these levels, it's a progressive level where you start with your fundamentals, then you know your leadership and communication style, then you improve on what you have gained, then you go to the next level of building your skills, and finally it is taking it to the next level, concluding learning and knowing what you have learned, etc. Now just let me get back to my So when I log in, I can go to the base camp, which is where my pathway is managed. Because I am a dual member in 2 clubs, I have an option to drop down and choose a club that I'm representing. For now, I will, if you're a member of a single club, you will by default get your club name here. So you can go to your club details. All right. And within that, you will see very important resources here. If you want details of how to do your project, how to do your pathways, there are a lot of tutorials and resources here, including what does all these projects represent, etc. Okay, so you can use that resources and tutorials to get to know more about your projects. For now, we will go into the pathways. So like I said, I have 3 paths open. So when you register with Toastmasters, you will get 1 free path. And I had chosen effective coaching as my first free path. And over last year, because of the COVID time, when I renewed, there was an offer to get a free path. So that's how, at that time, they launched a free path offer and I grabbed it. Similarly, I got also one more chance where I took another path. So typically you will have one path, and if you finish that, you can buy a different path for $20. You can choose another line of pathway that you would want to pursue. For example, I'm trying my hand at two different things. I want something on the leadership side. I also want to try something on a lighter side about how to incorporate humor. So that's why I have different types of path. You can either, it is recommended that you follow one path, complete it, and then start the other one. I have grabbed this because the offer was for a limited time. So that's how it is available for me right now. Now, once you have your path, you can go to it. You can open your curriculum. And here you can see that there are 5 levels in a path that needs to be completed. Each level will have different projects to be completed. And then at the end, when you have completed all the 5 levels, you can mark your path as completed. Okay, and then you will be called as a path breaker. That is, you have completed a path. So if I complete 5 levels, then I'll be a path breaker in effective coaching. Now I can zoom in into each of these levels. So level 1, you can see, has 3 different projects to be completed. The first project is the icebreaker, where I introduce myself to the club. The second one is evaluation and feedback. Okay, so this is where I do a project, I get a feedback, I incorporate that feedback and repeat the project. Similarly, the third project is doing a research on some topic and presenting the data to the audience. So I was just letting you know that level 1 has 3 projects. Depending on the path you have chosen, there would be a variation. Typically, it would start happening from level 3, 4, etc. The second level, just to give you a glimpse of it, is to understand your leadership style. So here, what it expects you to do is you demonstrate your leadership skills in or outside Toastmasters and do a presentation of how you had handled that situation, and then map your leadership style to the different leadership styles that are available or possible. Similarly, there is a different category of communication style. So you will identify what kind of communication style you are following, and you will use a project to explain how that reflects in your everyday life or some event, and then explain to the team how you have identified your style or what is that best suits. So similarly, if you look at level 3, it is managing consensus within a group. So this, from level 3 onwards, it is going to converge into what I am opted, which is effective coaching. All right. So I will show you another document. Can someone let me know if you can see it? Effective coaching path.
No.
Not yet.
Okay. So I might have to new share. I'll do a reshare. Can you see a word?
Yes.
So if you go to our drive, the drive where we keep our resources and tutorials, you will see that there are documents for each of these paths. So effective coaching, I can get a quick look at what are the different projects that needs to be done. Icebreaker, evaluation, research, that covers level 1. You can also use it as a log to do or maintain when you did it. All right. So in the earlier days, or the previous method of evaluation in Toastmasters was that you would fill an Excel sheet and then upload it, etc. Now they have gone fully online with the pathways way. And hence you do not actually need this. You can mark your projects in the pathway itself. So this is level 1. Level 2 is understanding your style. Level 3 is increasing knowledge, where you have a mandatory, R means mandatory, and you have elective of which you can choose two. For example, active listening, connect with storytelling. So you might want to do a storytelling speech and get it credited here. You might want to do inspire your audience speech and then get it credited here. So of the electives, you might want to do something. Going forward, level 4, electives. You can create a podcast. You can manage an online meeting. So all these are electives and you could choose one, building a social media presence. So you might be already doing it. So combining that with your pathways project, you can get credit for it. Now, one of the things that you will have to do is launch your project and then understand what are the different types of projects that you will be doing. Okay, so for that you can launch your project and then navigate through them and you will see what are the different electives available. You can moderate a panel discussion, you can lead in your organization. For example, the clubhouse meeting that Random Toastmasters did was a panel discussion. So the person who is conducting that is eligible to claim it or mark it as his panel discussion project, and he can go ahead with it, get credits for it. Now, when you're doing an icebreaker, what you should do, or for any project for that matter, what you should do is you should come to pathways, choose your level, choose your project. And here I can see that I have completed icebreaker, I have completed evaluation feedback. Now the next one is research and presenting, which is what is pending for me. Now, if you open up any of the project, for example, let us launch icebreaker. If you were to do your icebreaker project.
Arathi, we still see the Word document.
Oops. Thanks.
You can see my cards, right?
No. Because I'm doing a screen sharing, I'm not.
Okay.
It's red. Okay. All right. So I'll just wind up with that you can use this navigator and it will tell you precisely what you need to do with each of your project. So it will give you guidelines on how to prepare for your speech, how to assess yourself before your speech, you can print out your project guidelines, you can have your evaluation resources printed out, share with your evaluator, and it will actually give you preparation tips on how to prepare for your project. So with that, being conscious of the time, I will stop my session here. Can I take 2 more minutes to take any questions? Prakash, did you time me for 15 minutes?
Yes. It's 16, 30 seconds.
All right, yeah. One question, any question, so that I feel that somebody listened to it?
Arathi, J. Krishnan here.
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, just wanted to convey, just ask to take up, the pathways, we need to complete the 11.1, 11.2, 11.3, right? All the icebreakers, then only we can proceed with the pathways.
So pathways is your whole program. So when you say that I have chosen effective coaching, that is a path. Okay. Now that path will have 5 different levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which you will complete in that order. Now each level will have multiple projects, 2 or 3 projects inside it. So if you complete icebreaker plus evaluation plus research, you will complete level 1. You can finish that, mark it in the website, then you can launch your next level. Okay. So you will finish within the pathways. You choose a path, you get a pathways. Within the path, you will have different levels and you get credit for completing each level. Level 1 completion, level 2 completion, 3, 4, 5, and then you can finally complete everything. All right. So with that, I hand over the control back to Smitha. Thank you.
Thank you, TM Arathi, for this wonderful session. I'm pretty sure that we all would need more sessions like this, especially newbies like me, to learn how to navigate and follow our pathways sessions. Now is the much awaited impromptu speech session, which is called the Table Topics Round. We have the Table Topics Master, TM Deepthi, who will be conducting the session today. TM Deepthi is a quality manager at Suntech, passionate about public speaking and gardening. TM Deepthi, over to you. Would you like me to share the screen?
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Deepthi Wilson. So it's a great privilege to be your table topic master for the day. I have prepared a few topics which I would be introducing to you all shortly, and table topics help you in organizing your thoughts and expressing them. So this is an impromptu speech which you are attempting, and we are going to have a lot of fun speaking. So every speaker gets to speak from for 1 to 2 minutes. So Prakash is our timer for the day, and he would be timing you. When it is 1 minute, he will be showing a green card. And when it is 1.5 minutes, yellow card. And when it becomes 2 minutes, he will show a red card. So the participants will have 2 minutes, 30 seconds to wind up their speech. So, and each speaker should try and use the word of the day, bravado. So let's get into our table topics. So as you all know, 17th July was Emoji Day, right? So you can choose any emoji and have a short speech. So who wants to try first? No one?
I'll try. Jay Krishnan.
Okay, Krishnan, go ahead. Which one would you?
What's like family? The family kind of one is there. One pick is there, right?
Yeah, okay. So you can try a heartfelt family moment.
Like, yeah. So the family, definitely the whatever the success in our life, it's it's happening only because of our family. If we don't have our support to the family, support of our family, we cannot success in our life. So whatever the decisions, whatever the the right path we have been taking in our life, including the minute and to make it as a bravo decision, then we need to find out the we need to see the family support for that. So, and even from our childhood onwards, we'll be having the lot of roadblocks where with the help of the family we can definitely achieve to it. And to get into success, we need definitely the family is all in all. So family is one of the greatest part of our life, which without that we cannot. It's one of, I can say that without that we cannot do any kind of we cannot do any straightforward or any kind of decision where we can take it in our life at all. So and there is incidents which happening. Couple of incidents are happening in my life itself, where I've myself have stopped in. Okay, so that's it from my end. So.
Thank you, Jay Krishnan. Definitely, family is very, very important. So, who would like to try next?
I can go next.
Okay, you can show the video.
I'll go for yummy.
Which one?
Yummy.
Yummy. Okay. So which was your most amazing Slurpee moment?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I think my Slurpee moment would be the time, I think 7 years back, when my husband made me try the mutton razala curry he made. So to give a background, I'm not a person who likes mutton. I have never tried it in my entire life. My family, like my dad is an avid non-veg person. I would put it in that way. And my mom is a pure hardcore vegetarian. So you understand, what kind of food will happen or what kind of food will be made in my home. Weekends, monthly once also, if a non-veg is made, I would be really, really happy. But when I got married, my husband is a person who loves non-veg every day, and vegetarian is something like we only have during our paranals or birthdays, or rather when we are having a function like Onam or anything like that. So mutton was my Slurpee moment, and I still remember the taste of it. I still make him make very frequently, and it has surpassed definitely my choice for chicken, and I'm an avid mutton fan, I would call myself. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Manisha. I'm already feeling slurpy. I want to really have food right now. Okay, so who wants to go next?
I will go next.
Yeah, which one do you want?
Happy.
Happy. Okay.
I see many happies here. Which one would be the one? This one?
You can try that. Yeah. That beautiful person who came into your life. So in your life, who is that amazing person, beautiful person that came in?
Beautiful person who came into my life will be my daughter. So her name is Padalakshmi. So she's currently 7 years old. So God gave us Lakshmi back in 2030. So it was a great moment in our life. I would say that the steps which we took in our life as a family after that was involved or was having a lot of bravado moments. The reason being, after her birth is where we both again decided to pursue our higher studies. My wife is a doctor by profession, so she went for her first higher studies. Then I too went for my higher studies. So all those things, as a young kid, Lakshmi have to make a lot of sacrifices. So fast forward, close to 7 years now, there were a lot of happy moments in my life, and thanking God for giving Lakshmi. Thank you so much.
Wow, very nice. I am definitely sure your daughter is a beautiful person, and definitely you have a beautiful family. Do we have time to attempt one more table topic, Smitha?
I think we'll go for one more quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Who wants to go next? We have a lot of beautiful emojis here. Yes, go ahead.
Deepthi, that love one.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Moment you knew that your heart is not yours anymore. So whom did you give your heart, Indu?
Of course, to my husband. Yes. I'll start with that. Actually, we had a love marriage, and I met this person sometime back. Sometime back means in my college days, but I was not made any friendship with him. We met each other, but did not have any interactions. And after that, when I joined my college MCA, and it was during my project time, I came to Trivandrum, and he was working in a CDIT. And I visited CDIT for my project. And this person was there. And immediately I noticed a person whom I know. That actually, that familiar face actually made into a friendship. And finally, we were in love. And this Then it started like it went into something like love come arranged marriage, and all happened successfully. And it has been 18 years now. We are living together, and with a daughter Parvati. She's studying in 12th standard now. That's all from my side, Deepthi.
Wow, Indu, awesome love marriage. Huh? Okay, you all attempted the table topics with great bravado. We all are in love with the whole emojis, right? So keep doing. I will share this PPT to you. You can all try these emojis one by one. Okay, over to you, Toastmaster Smitha.
Thank you, TM Deepthi. What wonderful list of topics we had for table topics. And like you said, everybody did a good job. The next part of our meeting is the most awaited part and the most important round in a Toastmasters meeting. In this round, constructive feedback is given to each speaker as well as to the overall meeting conduct by the general evaluator. Using this, the members can definitely benefit from the experience of evaluators and become better speakers from their next session onwards. I now invite our general evaluator, TM Sreeja, for providing feedback for the participants and the meetings in general with the help of a tag team. Over to you, TM Sreeja.
Thank you, Toastmaster Smitha. Let's not waste any more time and quickly go to the reports. We'll first have the timer come in and give us the report of the various sessions that we have. Toastmaster Prakash, over to you.
Thank you, DTM Sreeja. I'll start with the TMOD. That introduction went nearly for 10 minutes. I think the allotted time was 5 minutes. Then training session, it went up to 18 minutes. But every topics, all the speakers spoke within the allotted time. JK, 1 minute 30 seconds. Manisha, 1 minute 20 seconds. Aravind, 1 minute 20 seconds. Indu, 1 minute 30 seconds. That's it from me. Over DTM Sreeja.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Prakash. Let's hear the report from our counter, Toastmaster Manu. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sreeja. So I'll start with Toastmaster Jayakrishnan. There were 2 and there was 1 so. But the major problem area was there were around like 10 usage of in his speech. He also used like and he used definitely multiple times. So that's an area that should have been looked at. Toastmaster Manisha was used 3 times. Was used once, but otherwise it was fine. Toastmaster Aravind, again, and so was also used. Was used for 2 times and so for like 4 times. Toastmaster Intu, was used 5 times, was used once, and there were usage once for actually and this. Yeah, so those were the findings from my end. Yeah, take it in a constructive way. Back to you, Toastmaster Sreeja.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Manu. Yes, please note down which is your favorite crutch word and then concentrate on that single word and try to reduce that. Let's go ahead and take the report from the Grammarian. Over to the Grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Anila.
Thank you, DTM Sreeja. So today it was a very tough day for me because all the speakers were very well versed and very good and very strong in language. And most of it was a prepared speech. And first, let me start with Smitha. She had a lot of good usages. I couldn't write so many of them, but a few things that I have noted down, some of the words that I've noted down are this servitude, furious, intimidate, cynosure, and some of the good usages of sentences where ragging was a ritual, get into their good books, ragging episodes, pursue any action, devise a plan of action, connect the dots, what was that? Mischief mongers, stand by my decision. Yeah, those were the good thoughts that came up. And coming to DTM Sreeja, I like the way you introduce the time, but we don't, so that we don't miss the train. That was, I liked it. And coming to the table topics, the first one was by Jayakrishnan. I think he used having the lot of, I think maybe it is because of the impromptu speech that came in between. It should have been have lot of. And he said, incidents are happening in my life, but he couldn't continue. I think he was about to talk about the incidents that happened in his life. So that was one thing that I struggled to note it down. Manisha, I couldn't find any. And next was Aravind. I heard great movement, maybe not sure if I heard it right. It should have been moment. And for Indu, it was, I was not made any interaction. So I have not made any interaction, and something which was familiar face made into a friendship. So maybe you can rephrase it as familiar face became a reason for our friendship, something like that. It would have been better. That's what my thought is. That's it from my end. And finally, let's look at the word of the usage today. It was used 2 times by Smitha, 1 time by Sreeja, 1 time by Arathi, 1 time by Jayakrishnan, 1 time by and 1 time by Deepthi. And that's my report. And back to you, generally evaluated distinguished Toastmaster Sreeja.
Thank you very much, Grammarian Anila. That was a detailed report and a very apt one too. Let me quickly go to my report. We were here, all of us were here at 12 o'clock. I saw that at least 10 people were here, which is a very good thing. And we started our meeting dot at 12:05. And from the time I see that we will be able to finish the meeting on time as well, which is very good. Tia Modi, beautiful story that you went ahead with. However, I would ask you to keep an eye on the clock, because you went ahead and I saw that Arathi started speaking, I believe, somewhere by 12:25, which was a little late. So that is something that you can take care of. Also, you can call others as Toastmaster Arathi and not TM Arathi. It's okay to say DTM so-and-so, but TM is not something that is used. It's generally Toastmaster is what you can call in. I like the way in which my tag team came in and gave their report, as well as your introduction. It was all very clear and precise. A suggestion for Toastmaster Prakash, when you show the timer card, it would have been good if you can show the entire card, which covers the screen, so that the person who is looking at it knows what color it is. And I saw that you were just showing it half. So, also because of the lighting effects and all those things, the colors can get reflected. So it's always a very good idea to show the entire card. I love the way in which the table topic master of the day brought in the emojis celebrating the World Emoji Day. So it was a very beautiful PPT. I also wanted to try a little bit, but I wanted to give the chance to others as well who have not got a chance to speak. And I applaud Toastmaster Jayakrishnan, because he clinched that moment and said that, yes, I wanted to talk. And you did talk very well, Jayakrishnan. What you can also pay attention to is the way in which you end your table topic. So I just felt that you abruptly end the table topic, which is also found in others when we say, that's all that I have to speak about it. Maybe we can think about how we can properly end the statement and not just raise our hands and say abruptly. Toastmaster Manisha, Arvind, both of you also had very good speeches, including Indu. Indu, I found that while you speak, you use the word and connect different sentences and make it one long sentence, which becomes very difficult to understand. So cut down those and put a full stop where you put those ands, and then they will become short sentences and it becomes much more easier to understand. Before I end up my report, a special appreciation again to the Toastmaster of the day for the barrage of beautiful vocabulary that she had. Wow. I kept on writing and it was so beautiful. I hope all of you have also noted down those points and we use it somewhere. So a special clap for your bravado. On that note, I hand over the control back to you for completing the day's meeting. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sreeja. With that, we conclude another wonderful session of Toastmasters. I would like to end the session by bringing up a little thought. Do not ever hesitate to face any challenges head on. who knows what challenge you will have that will show your road to Damascus. And these experiences are what shape your values, beliefs, and makes you who you are. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Arathi, the president of our club.
Big round of applause to you, Toastmaster Smitha, for giving us a very good message and saying out a story very well. Thank you for that. Now it's time to wind up the meeting, but I'll just take 1 minute to say that Pith Solution has asked for a meeting to be done in their office, and they have picked up a date of August 4th, which is next 2 Wednesdays from now. It coincides with their anniversary celebrations. So let's have a special meeting there with the aim of impressing the people there, telling them how Toastmasters has changed us and helping them make a decision to join up Toastmasters. So we'll plan about it in the WhatsApp group. So let's stay connected, stay safe, and have a great week ahead. Thank you and see you later.